There are cars, and then there are legends. Some vehicles are born iconic, while others earn their status through decades of rugged service, timeless design, and an unshakable reputation. Today, we're about to uncover one such legend, a machine that has stood the test of time, battled the elements, and carried its owners through the toughest terrains on Earth. But now, it sits forgotten, waiting for a second chance. This is the story of a 1991 Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon, a vehicle that once ruled the off-road world, but now lies in ruins, begging for a revival. When I first laid eyes on this G-Wagon, it was hard to believe it was the same vehicle that once symbolized power, luxury, and adventure. Covered in layers of dust, its paint faded and cracked, the interior torn and weathered. It looked more like a relic than a classic. But beneath the rust and neglect, I could see the potential. This wasn't just any G-Wagon, it was a 1991 Mercedes-Benz 300 GD, a model known for its bulletproof reliability and rugged charm. And I was determined to bring it back to life. The journey began with a thorough inspection. As I popped the hood, I was greeted by the sight of a 3.0-liter inline-five diesel engine, a workhorse that had powered this beast for decades. But time had taken its toll. The engine was caked in grime, the belts were cracked, and the fluids had turned to sludge. It was clear that this G-Wagon hadn't run in years. But I wasn't discouraged. In fact, I was excited, because I knew that with the right care, this engine could roar to life once again. Next, I turned my attention to the body. The G-Wagon's iconic boxy design was still there, but the years had not been kind. Rust had eaten away at the wheel arches, the doors were misaligned, and the undercarriage was a mess. But here's the thing about the G-Wagon, it's built like a tank. Its body-on-frame construction and solid axles are designed to withstand the harshest conditions. And that's exactly what made this restoration so thrilling. I knew that no matter how bad it looked, this vehicle could handle whatever I threw at it. The first step was to strip the G-Wagon down to its bare bones. Every panel, every bolt, every piece of trim had to be removed. It was a painstaking process, but it was the only way to assess the damage and plan the restoration. As I worked, I couldn't help but imagine the stories this vehicle could tell. Where had it been? What adventures had it seen? The G-Wagon's history was a mystery, but one thing was certain. It had lived a hard life. With the body stripped down, I began the process of repairing the rust. The wheel arches were the worst, so I started there. Using a combination of cutting, welding, and grinding, I carefully removed the corroded metal and replaced it with fresh panels. It was slow, meticulous work, but every weld brought the G-Wagon one step closer to its former glory. And as the rust disappeared, the vehicle's true character began to shine through. Next came the paint. I wanted to stay true to the G-Wagon's roots, so I chose a classic shade of Mercedes-Benz white. It's a timeless color that highlights the vehicle's rugged lines and gives it a clean, sophisticated look. Applying the paint was a labor of love. Layer by layer, I watched as the G-Wagon transformed from a rusty shell into a gleaming masterpiece. And when the final coat was applied, I couldn't help but smile. It was starting to look like a G-Wagon again. But the real challenge was still ahead. The engine. The 300 GD's diesel engine is known for its durability, but this one had been sitting for years. I started by draining the old fluids and replacing them with fresh ones. Then, I replaced the belts, hoses, and filters. The injectors were clogged, so I cleaned them thoroughly. And finally, after weeks of work, it was time to turn the key. The moment of truth. I climbed into the driver's seat, took a deep breath, and turned the ignition. At first, there was nothing, just the sound of the starter motor cranking, but then, slowly, the engine sputtered to life. It was rough at first, but as it warmed up, the sound smoothed out. The deep, throaty rumble of the diesel engine filled the garage, and I knew I had done it. The G-Wagon was alive. With the engine running, I turned my attention to the interior. The seats were torn, the dashboard was cracked, and the carpets were stained. But I had a vision. I wanted to restore the interior to its original condition, with a few modern touches to make it more comfortable. I started by reupholstering the seats in high-quality leather, matching the original design, but adding a bit more padding for comfort. The dashboard was repaired and refinished, and the carpets were replaced with durable, easy-to-clean materials. And when it was all done, the interior looked brand new. Finally, it was time for the finishing touches. I replaced the old, worn-out tires with a set of rugged all-terrain tires, perfect for off-roading. The headlights and taillights were upgraded to modern LED units, giving the G-Wagon a sharper, more contemporary look. And I added a few subtle custom touches, like a roof rack and a set of auxiliary lights, to enhance its functionality without compromising its classic design. And then it was done. The 1991 Mercedes-Benz 300 GD, once a forgotten relic, was now a fully restored masterpiece. It was a moment of pure satisfaction, knowing that I had brought a piece of automotive history back to life. But more than that, it was a reminder of why I do what I do. Because every car has a story, and every restoration is a chance to preserve that story for future generations. So what's next for this G-Wagon? Well, that's up to its new owner. But one thing's for sure, it's ready for whatever adventures lie ahead. Whether it's conquering off-road trails or cruising through the city, this G-Wagon is a testament to the enduring legacy of Mercedes-Benz engineering, and I couldn't be prouder to have played a part in its journey. Thanks for joining me on this incredible restoration. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more automotive adventures. And as always, keep the classics alive. Until next time, this is Chrome and Classics signing off.